Tommy, what got you going offensively? Seemed like those floaters and runners were working well. Like, what did you see as your responsibility against that defense tonight?
We were preparing for their zone the whole week. We knew how they're going to defend us. And the coach was asking for me to be in the middle spot, that I'm going to have a lot of space there to help my teammates, assist them, or even have open shots for me, and that's what happened at the end.
Kylan, for you, when you talk about defense, how has, if at all, that maybe mindset changed since coming here and being that tip of the spear and being as good as you can on that end?
I think it's all Coach Underwood, honestly. He's made it a big point for me when I came here before I even committed. What he wanted out of me on the defensive end. He knows what I'm capable of. But tonight I did a really good job of that. A lot of deflections, getting my hands on the passing lane, stuff like that. So give that to Coach Underwood, help me change that mentality.
For either one of you two, like what can a game like this where you kind of have to work through some things compared to the first two do as you guys go into the now bigger stretch of non-conference games?
These games are different because we have to prepare tactics, especially because we knew how they're going to play zone the whole game. And they play long offenses and run the sets for 20 to 25 seconds. And we had to be on a high focus and prepared for that. And at the end, we did.
I guess for both of you, the offense, the first two games was very much centered on threes. So how do you feel like maybe you handled, a night when the shots didn't go into, maybe working it through Tommy a little more?
I think we did a great job. We realized if they're going to just keep leaving him open and let him get to a shot he works on every single day, we're going to keep giving the ball and let him shoot that shot. Kept finding the corners great tonight. Just making the passes a little quicker in those zones really hurts them. But, he's one of the top bigs in the nation. He works on that shot. Give it to him every time.
Kylan, how do you feel like you guys have grown in these, I know it's only 3 games, but grown in these first 3 before you get Alabama next week?
No, I think each game and each practice that we've had so far has helped us progressively as a team combine together, mesh and gel. Everybody's getting to understand what people enjoy or on the court, like what everybody does best. And then picking up on the defensive end, especially with the Alabama team, elite shooting team, very athletic, great defensively. So it'll be a really good game for us. It'll be our first test for us for sure.
Kylan, you've been through this progression of a schedule. What's the key as it ramps up and you go from the lower level opponents to a team like Alabama? What's the key to handling that as a team?
What outside noise is saying, don't let that get to your head at all. You always got to remember that the other team is, seeing you in a certain way as well. And for us, I think us just every day just coming in with the right mentality and taking care of your body is definitely for sure a bigger one.
Kylan, how do you feel about the process of settling in offensively? How's that going for you? Just how are you finding your role in the offense?
For me, I wouldn't say struggle, but it's different. Arizona is a very structured offense, and this is kind of free flowing. A lot of, make your own decisions on the court type of stuff and you put in. But I feel like I'm getting the hang of it now. But I've had good games in my career. I've had poor shooting games in my career. At the end of the day, for me, at my junior year season, trying to help this team win any way I can. So it's not falling. I'll do something else for the team.
Tommy, how much maybe the rest of you guys feed off of what Kylan does defensively, or maybe what Dre does, maybe kind of a similar thing coming off the bench?
He always got the best offensive player. And, of course, he helps to the others because, he does a big part of the job. And it's easier to go to the offense after. And I would say him and Dre do a really good job on defending the main positions.
Kylan looked like he had really good on-ball defense today. What kind of intensity does that bring to the court? And, how do you think that could help, feed others on defense?
For me, it's just kind of like a mental switch. You sometimes get tired, but you're just trying to forget about that. They had DQ Cole, really good player. And then their other guard who's really shifty, really small too. So it's kind of a test for me. But I try to take those on with the right mindset. And all that they can do is just help me and help my conditioning for sure too.
Kylan, you're two years of college basketball, and what do you tell KJ, who's not as experienced, after he has a rough night turning the ball over like this?
Kasparis is an elite point guard. great scorer, great playmaker, great teammate. He has no worries with anything, and any of those struggles or nothing like that. There's a reason why people say things about him and what he can do possibly after college basketball. So all I do is try to just feed more confidence into him. I came in young too as well. And I just try to just give him little tips and little advice that can help him if he's feeling some type of way or something like that.
Colin, I know Coach Underwood always talks about guards needing to rebound a lot, and you, KJ and Dre had, I think, 11 of 37. Like, what's the emphasis on that look like to have that kind of production? What can that do for you guys when you're able to get that?
If we get the rebound on the defensive end, we get to push it now from, there's no extra passing, no nothing, get the flow into the offense much easier. So it just kind of helps our offense as a team because we do a lot of high pick and rolls and stuff like that as well. So we already have the ball. It's just easiest for us to get back on the offensive end.
Kyle and obviously you guys have a big game coming up. What was your just main takeaway from this game tonight?
I think we did a good job of fighting adversity. The ball wasn't dropping. We figured out a new way to put the ball in the rim. On defensive end, we did our jobs. We knew the scout. We knew what the type of offense they would run, how a lot of off-ball screens, a lot of down screen stuff like that. And we did a great job taking the shooters away from a lot of catch and shoot threes. So we're just getting better with that every single day. Good money.
Thank you.
Hats off to Greg and his crew, and they've obviously had some productive practice time as well since their last ball game, and it's a good basketball team. They're awkward to play against, to put it bluntly. There's not a lot of play that way. Zones different. It's kind of hard to play against. I thought we did some good things. I was really impressed with our defense the second half. I thought I won at the game. Really valuable lesson for our guys to understand that not every game is fun, easy, pretty. There's some games that are going to be lower possession and you got to grind it, and some games that the ball doesn't go in and you got to figure out how to win. And you hold one of Greg's teams to 4-25 from the three. I thought our perimeter defense was excellent. I thought that won us the game. And then I thought Tommy was terrific in in the middle of the zone, especially in the first half, but turned it over too much, too sloppy with live ball turnovers. We got to figure that out. I don't know. Maybe it was probably my fault trying to play too fast against it. We had a lot of live ball transition turnovers. They gave a lot of those up in their first game, and we didn't execute very well, and that's on me. But when we did execute in the half court, for the most part, we were pretty good.
Brett, this game is much more physical than the first two. Some of that's Oakland, but
A lot of that's Oakland.
how do
Did you see those guys?
Yeah.
I think Brett would like a couple of those guys, defensive end or outside linebacker.
How does that help you though, moving forward against like in Big Ten and playing?
Yeah, you've got DQs. I think they list him at 6'3", 222 pounds, and that's their point. That's their lead guard, and both those wings are 6'6", 6'7", and then that physicality on the glass. It doesn't matter what size you are. They're 240 pounds. I think between the two of them, the two starting bigs are almost 8 offensive rebounds a game. It doesn't matter, when you're physical and strong, and that will help us immensely. Gives us a pretty good taste of what big, strong athletes look like. And I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part. We got beat on a couple cross screens we got to clean up, but for the most part, I thought we were pretty solid, and we'll need to be as we move forward.
Big picture wise, Coach, what have you learned about your team over these first 3 games, and what's some of the focal points this week to prepare for Alabama?
Yeah, I think every game's different, which is what we've tried to see. A team that I think we faced 3 teams that are very different and distinct in their style of play. But I think that all of those are new experiences for our guys, every style of play. I think that, as we head into Alabama, we'll see a different style of play, a team that, was right there with us offensively last year. I think we're trying to play in a way that the biggest, most important takeaway for me is just that it's not always fun and easy and free flowing. And there's going to be some grinded out games. And, I thought we handled that pretty well for the most part. And yet, we've still got some things we got to work on.
Coach, the shots weren't falling today, but did you think that your team still created good looks for themselves?
I have no problem with our looks. I thought that the thing that hurt us on the offensive side was the turnovers. I thought we were selective in transition in the second half. Maybe didn't run enough, but I don't know, what did we take? How many threes we take? 25. Again, it's in a low possession game. I'm good with those. I just thought that Tommy in the middle was good. We put KJ in the middle. He was good. It was a game where they tried to take away our threes. And we still found some opportunities to get them off. But all in all, not too bad.
Brad, obviously Kylan made a big impact defensively tonight. How is he impacting the game for you on that end? And how is he finding his way in your offense, which you said is a lot different than what he ran at Arizona?
Yeah, the thing I'm the most proud of with Kylan is he hasn't forced anything. He hasn't worked. I mean, we've had 3 games now where it's just been different for our lead guards, our primary ball handlers. They haven't had to, we saw a trap in the first game. We saw, a hard hedge and then today we see a zone. There's going to be a night when all those guys are going to have to score and be more aggressive scoring. Kylan's just taken what the game's given him. I think he's had some good looks. He hasn't shot it great. It was great to see him finally make one. But he has not let that interfere at all with what he's done on the defensive side. He's been dominant at that end. And I feel like he's one of the better on ball defenders that are out there.
He talked a lot about you kind of presenting that to him in the recruiting process, his ability. Like, what did you see that you wanted to unlock with him, just in terms of physically what he could do defensively?
Well, he's really athletic, and he's got a frame that is just so strong and powerful. And he's, he can overpower a lot of guards with his strength and his quickness. And then he's really twitchy in tight areas. He can really move quick, really fast, and he's got just that ability to make point of entry for an offense hard, and then he's fast. So him chasing off screens and his physicality blowing up screens, those are all things that he's capable of doing. You find very few players that have all of those tools.
Brent, Draven, I thought his energy and effort was tremendous tonight. I just want to get your thoughts on his play.
Draven's been great. I think he made one mistake that we got to clean up, where he tried to take the guy's ball and got beat downhill. When Draven just stays solid, stays in front, works, he's really good. I thought his energy offensively was really good. So it was. I've been really pleased with the way Draven's playing. I'm excited, and he's going to have some big nights. And on the offensive side, and I think he helped us a lot tonight.
What Oakland did is, how you described them to us yesterday, and I'm sure how you describe what they do to your team. Just what's the difference between maybe hearing it and going through it on scout, and then seeing it live and in person?
Well, I think that it's so unique, and we were pretty good last year, and we were down 8-0. We were down 10-2. We played from behind the entire game against them last year. When you combine that defense, which forces you into some longer possessions, and then you slow down like they do, they might be one of the most efficient teams in the country in the last 8 seconds of a shot clock. And so they're going to limit your possessions. And so it, magnifies every trip. And over the course of time, you start to feel a little bit of that angst, and anxiety sets in, and, you turn it over, and it puts a little pressure on your defense. And so it's just a culmination of what it does mentally to some teams. And, I thought for the first time seeing that was pretty solid. And I think we showed we've got a guy in Tommy who can handle it and put a lot of pressure on his own defense. And then I thought we got some good looks. We didn't shoot it great.
Brad, obviously you guys have a lot of confidence in KJ, but what do you want him to take from tonight in some of the rocky moments that he had?
Well, you can tell he's from Europe. They don't play zone. So it's not something that he's probably seen a lot. It's just making simple plays, and it's not out of a ball screen. It's not, he's one of the best players in the country doing that. Tonight it was just, stationary. I thought he played a little, maybe a little sped up. That's on me. I didn't do a very good job with him in terms of understanding the balance of the floor. And he's always been able to find a crease and find a gap and put a lot of pressure on people with that, and it's a little different against the zone. And he's got to go through it, and he's resilient and tough, and I thought he made some really nice plays late.
But I know you always talk about your guards rebounding and how much you want out of them. I think they had 11 tonight, KJ, Dre, and Kylan. What would you think about that? Is that about, I'm sure you probably want more, but what do you think about what they were able to do?
No, we need our guards to rebound. It's there's no doubt we've got to become a 5-man rebounding team, and that's at both ends. I think Dre had 3 offensive rebounds at half. Ben had a couple. Those are things that Trey is very good on the glass. Will has been very good on the glass. But again, you can't let the tempo and the flow of the game slow you down. You still have to find your energy. And when our guards rebound, that's when we're at our best in terms of transition and running. And KJ got every rebound early, that's a great sign for us when our guards are rebounding.
Coach, at 28 minutes for Will Riley and like 14 for Trey. How do you see that playing out at the 3? Will it come down to matchups or hot hand or whatnot?
Yeah, and it's not going to be like that position. You're solidifying a position, and that's not the case. Those guys will play together. I think it was more. Kylan was being pretty good, and KJ's been a guy that's been really good all year, and Draven, and it was just kind of one of those nights. I don't make too much out of that. I think that there's going to be nights you'll see both those guys play a lot together.
A tough night for Will, just overall. As for him being so young, what do you tell him before going to play? Those higher ranked opponents after kind of struggling against a team like Oakland.
Well, Oakland's really good now. Don't go saying a team like Oakland now. I mean, you realize they were, last second shot from the Sweet 16 last year. So let's not start that stuff, because a team's in a power conference and a team's not. I'm not buying into that. But you've got a freshman who didn't make a couple shots, and guess what? The good thing is we get to play again, and he does it every single day, and he makes a lot of shots. Those are shots that he's going to make every single night. And the only way that I'll get upset with young Will is if he quits shooting them, and I know he won't. But that's no slouch against that. We won't face many teams that physical and that athletic all year long.
Brett, I know Tommy's played at a high level, so maybe it's an easier transition, but 52 points through 3 games. Just what stood out to you about his transition and how he's played through these first 3 games and going into Alabama?
Yeah, it's been smooth for him. It's been almost kind of effortless, and I don't mean that in a casual way. It's just taking what the game gives to him. There's going to be nights when he's going to shoot threes. There's going to be nights like tonight when it was the little floater. It's just him taking advantage of what it was. I thought he got a little tired late and fumbled a couple that he normally shouldn't. And, so we got to get him into better shape. But I thought he just was an absolute dominant, and he was really good defensively. But it's just easy. He doesn't force anything that's not there. He looks to be a great teammate, and again, his understanding of the game mentally allows him to do that, and his skill set's pretty doggone good.
He sounds kind of business-like with us. Like, coach says this is what they're going to do. This is what they did. He said, this is where I need to go. That's where I went. Like, is that the right read, business-like? Has that been a similar experience you've had with him?
Yeah, other than him telling my hair looked like crap. Tommy's really funny. He's really got a great understanding. He's seen a lot in his early, understanding of the game. He's got a maturity about him that is probably beyond his years, but he's very smart. So he pays attention and scout. He knows what's coming. He knows when you're we're trying to jam a left shoulder. He knows when he's got to give help. He's a great communicator. So there's, I think when he steps across the line, he's pretty business oriented, pretty focused, and pretty on point.
Brad, you mentioned decision making tonight. I just wanted to get your thoughts on just the balance for the team being aggressive versus sharing the ball.
Yeah, that's on me. We talk about, we call it 0.5 basketball all the time, and that's, you look at our assist totals the last couple of games, and they've been great. And trying to play aggressive and fast and number of possessions, there's that fine line between doing it under control and doing it and being reckless, and asking guys to do something that they're not capable of doing. Running the floor hard, that we can do that. And we're not doing that consistently enough. But making decisions when you're playing fast, not everybody can do that. And sometimes we're better off just putting the brakes on and being aggressive in the half court, because the reality is KJ's one of the elite ball screen guys in the country, and we're going to make great decisions. Is he going to turn it over a couple times? Absolutely. He's got the ball in his hands. We just saw that in the game before. But it again, every game is different, and we got to find that right balance.
Brad, it's still early in the season, but what are you most proud of with this group through 3 games and from where they've come from since the summer?
Yeah, I think that we've grown a tremendous amount on the defensive side. I think we're starting to understand what winning looks like. Winning's hard; it's not easy, and winning can come in a lot of different ways. And I go back to the Ole Miss exhibition, and a game we played a lot of people, and we didn't make any changes. We just tried to stick to a very basic script, and yet it was the tenacity, it was the desire, it was the want to, it was all the little things that we didn't do, and now we're starting to do. And our guys have to understand that, the true saying, everyday guy, it's who we have to be. And tonight, I'm so ecstatic with our guys tonight, because it wasn't pretty, and you found a way to win ugly, and we did that with gritty defense and very few mistakes on that end.
Brad, it seems like you're getting activity and want to from Will defensively. Probably why you play him 28 minutes a night and doesn't make a lot of shots. How have you seen that progress for him, a guy that's known a lot for his offense?
Yeah, he's cares, he tries, he works at it. His length, we call him rear view contest. His ability to come over the top and block shots and challenge shots. He's probably altered more shots than anybody on our team doing that. And that's a great, probably haven't had one like that since IO. But he's getting really good at it. He's understanding it hurts to run into a screen, so let me avoid him. And he's fast and athletic, and I think we've seen major strides. That's why I played him tonight. He was so good defensively, chasing them around, that I didn't care whether he made or missed shots. I was really pleased with what he did on the defensive side.
Kylan, told us that before he even got here, you were maybe stressing what he could be defensively. What was it about him at Arizona that had you thinking that, and how may you see him, you may embrace that as well?
It was before Arizona. We recruited him pretty hard, and I thought that was an aspect that he could be a dominant player was defensively, and I've always liked his makeup on that side of the court, and I've always liked the fact that he's won. You don't win games like he's won throughout his career without doing something defensively, and his tenacity has been great. I told him to be the best two-way player in the Big Ten, and if you're that, then you're going to position yourself to be one of the better ones nationally. But he's taken that to heart. He's doing it every single day in practice. It's fun to see him and KJ and Draven and Trey and all those guys go at it in practice. Yeah, I think he can just continue to grow on that end. And as long as he's doing that, he's got a place that, is going to keep him on the court. Thank you.